What's, ow. What's up, Mother Fussers? Welcome back to the Mother Fussin' Truth. Today I'm going to be talking about my labor story. I'm really excited because it's fun. It's a long one, and I have a lot to talk about. I think everybody's labor stories are very interesting, so I'm really excited to talk about. Last week we talked about my pregnancy journey, so now we're gonna just kind of keep going on, talk about labor. Next week I'll be talking about my post-pregnancy, so I'm not gonna put too much into that right now. So basically the events leading up, I think I was around 38, 39 weeks. Everyone gets just so tired of being pregnant at that point. You're just like, okay, come on, baby. What can we do to make things faster, to get things going? And a lot of people do it. A lot of women look it up and have all these different things you can drink or eat or do to kind of just speed up the process. So Jason and I, we had a lot of sex, and it was actually, I wanted to, for once. No, I'm just kidding. But I was just so tired of being pregnant, and I'm like, look, this is apparently what's gonna get things going. So literally when he would get home from work, I'd bounce on him. I'd be like, come on, we're doing it. Let's go. Let's get things going. And then I did a lot of walking. I heard that's another thing. So Jason would be out working on his truck. And this actually happened the day I went into the hospital. Jason was working on his truck, and I'm literally walking in circles in the parking lot. But I didn't eat anything weird. I didn't drink anything weird. I didn't do that. Actually, I did get a membrane sweep. So I don't know, personally, to me, it didn't hurt, but I've heard a lot of stories that it hurts. But, they go in and they apparently just sweep out the little membranes or whatever it is. But I was, excited for it because I was like, ooh, a lot of success stories come from this. And, this might actually get things moving. It did work for me. So my suggestion would be to try it out, but I've heard that it also hurts. Me, it didn't hurt. So I really not enjoyed it. I liked it. I liked the fact that I did it just because it did get things going. I also would do a lot of bouncing. I know you can sit on a ball, one of those exercise balls or whatever, and kind of bounce up and down. I didn't have one. So Jason walked in one day, and I'm on the side of the couch, right in the front, bouncing on the cushion. So I was desperate to try to get things going. Sorry, my hair looks like crap today, guys. Did not feel like doing it. I have a lot of chores to do, and for some reason I'm always filming on the darkest days. It's supposed to rain here soon. Sorry again. I actually did order a ring light off of Amazon. Well, my husband did, so thank God for him. So hopefully that'll be coming soon, so I don't have to be in these weird, I don't even know if it's dark in the video now, so we'll see how it comes out. But anyways, so the day I went into the hospital, I actually was kind of leaking, and I knew, because, at that point when you're that pregnant, you could just be peeing yourself, tinkling, but I wasn't. I can tell when I'm doing it, when I'm peeing or whatever. It's just different. You can tell. And my underwear would have this wet kind of discharge, and I'm just like, what is this? Because it wasn't discharge. It was watery, and I'm just kind of okay, this is weird. This is odd. Maybe I'm leaking fluid or whatever. Maybe my water broke or something, and I just don't know. Because, I've never been pregnant before. I never experienced water breaking, so I had no idea, what it would feel like when the time came. So I actually went into the hospital a week before, and they let me go because they're like, no, it's nothing. You're probably peeing yourself. They did one of those little tests to see, I guess they say they could see little flour or snowflake-ish looking things to see if it is your water. And I guess it came back negative. But this day was Friday the 13th. Never forget it because I'm one of those lucky girls who was born on the 13th, and that's my lucky number, and I like all things weird like that. So I was actually hoping Jameson would have been born this day. I know, right? Me. But it was Friday 13th, April. I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna go back into the hospital and see, because this is weird. This isn't normal for me. So I actually went in with Jason not thinking anything about it. I did not eat that day. Like, I still haven't had anything to eat. Didn't take a nap, so I was kind of moody, kind of tired. And I go in, Jason was like, I'm gonna go move the car, I'm gonna go move the truck. And here's the thing, I know I'm getting a little sidetracked, but Jason did not want to see anything down there, anything that had to do down there when the time came. He was just like, no, I'm grossed out by it. He's super grossed out by like period blood. So he's like, I don't want to see anything that's gonna come out of you like that. Because he also said that it didn't want to change his perspective, you know, like when you're having sex and stuff. And I think that's really, really common for a lot of men. So I respected that. I was like, fine, that's okay. I mean, that's on you. You don't have to see it, you know. So Jason goes to move the truck, and the lady's checking me, and she's literally got my legs spread open. She's got the clamp in, you know, so everything's wide open. And Jason walked into the room, and his face was priceless. He was just like he could not take his eyes away. He was just like scarred right there. And he's just like, well, dang, I saw a lot right there. I was just like, well, looks like you might be watching the whole thing after all, because, you know, if you can look at that, maybe I can see the childbirth. Plus, it's like you're right there anyways. You've got like, your view is literally right there. What are you gonna do? Keep eye contact with me the whole time I'm giving birth? Like, no. So anyways, so like I said, we go into the hospital, they check me, and it did end up that I had a tear in my sac. And that's why I was leaking. And good thing that they actually admitted me this time, because I heard you can actually get infection that way. So I'm really glad that they took me in. But at the same time, because they don't let you leave, they're like, oh no, this baby's gonna come soon. So I didn't get any food. I was starving. I had not eaten. All they would give me were ice chips, you know, because they don't let you eat. And I didn't take a nap, but it's like when you have that time and you're in the hospital, like I could not sleep. There's just so much going on. It's just, I'm one of those people who have to sleep in the dark and it has to be quiet. And, you know, this was just an uncomfortable situation, so I could not sleep. So I was just tired. But anyways, they take us into the room. The people who were there. So obviously my husband was there. He wasn't my husband at the time. I have to keep like saying that. We were engaged. We were planning a wedding. So I was super pregnant and planning a wedding at the same time. I hadn't even had my dress, and we were supposed to be getting married in 2 months after that. So that's a whole nother story. Let me know if you guys want to hear about that, because it was stressful. Anyways, my mother-in-law and my dad. And I know a lot of people are like, you had your dad in the room? Like, what the hell? Like, okay, well, I told my dad not to look there, you know? Like, I wanted him to film, you know, above the shoulders. But obviously, the room that we were in, he couldn't stand there, you know? I had my mother-in-law on one side. I had Jason on the other side. And so I told him, you know what, just take pictures from the other side. The reason I had him in the room is because I don't have my mother anymore. And I wanted him to experience it. I honestly did. I wanted my family member to be there. Why I didn't have my sisters in the room, I don't know. But I had my dad, and my dad and I have a very close bond, so I'm not upset about it, you know? And he got to see his first grandchild born, you know? And I just think it's a miracle, you know, thing to witness. And my sister doesn't want children. One of them she wants to adopt or foster. And then my other sister, you know, I don't know if she'll have my dad in the room. So that might be the first and the last time he gets to witness, you know, a grandchild being born. Anyways, epidural. I wanted it. So I really was like, give me all the drugs. I don't want to feel any pain, you know, like just load them up. The guy, you know, took me in, or I was in the room, but he kicked everyone out. I couldn't even have Jason in the room. So I don't know why they did that. I don't know if it's a distraction thing. But I literally had to hug onto a chair, and then the nurse was just, you know, trying to talk me down. I was so nervous to get an epidural. I've just heard the horror stories. Of course, I look things up online. I'm one of those people. And I was just terrified that, oh my God, he's gonna do it wrong and I'm gonna be paralyzed or something like that. So I was freaking out. I was like sweating, literally just sweating. And I was just so nervous. Of course, you know, it worked. It worked in the beginning. So they give you that little button to push, you know, so you can get more every 20 minutes. It just didn't work after that. That first time he did it, I felt so good. I didn't feel anything down there. Pretty sure I peed myself, and we're gonna talk dirty. I did poop on the table. I pooped twice. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, because this is the motherfucking truth. I pooped when she went to turn me, and it just kind of slipped out, I guess. I don't know. So there's that. We don't have to talk about that anymore. She just laughed, and she's like, it happens all the time. So all you moms out there who probably some didn't, and that's awesome, but the ones that are like, ooh, I didn't do that, you know, you probably did. Let's be honest, okay? But the epidural thing, after a while, it just started wearing off, and I felt everything. And I don't know if maybe they did it wrong. Maybe they didn't put it in the button thing, or, you know, it just, my body just did not care for it or something, but I felt everything. Like, I felt myself ripping in half, you know, like, it was the worst pain I've ever been in my whole entire life, obviously. I mean, I think for a lot of women, they say the same. It was just, oh my gosh, I was like at the point of screaming. I didn't really cuss, which is really unusual for me, but it's because it hurt so bad I couldn't talk. Just at that point. So let me backtrack, because I'm already, you know, speeding this story up. I was pushing wrong for the first hour, and I had no idea. I didn't take any of those Lamaze or whatever they're called classes. So my mother-in-law was on my right, Jason's on my left, and when it came time to push, I was pushing with my legs. I was literally pushing them back, and they were like, whoa, for a whole hour. Like, the nurse didn't even say anything. She's just like, keep pushing, you're doing great. And I'm just like, I feel like I'm getting nowhere, because I was also like really chatty, and, you know, I was laughing while I was pushing, like, okay, like, just something wasn't right. Funny story. My dad, because he was in the room, and things weren't really, you know, getting on. It was really, really slow process at first. He fell asleep while I was pushing, while I'm in labor, and he fell asleep, and he was snoring. So I'm literally pushing while my dad is like, and my dad snores. He snores really loud. So it was the funniest thing, and I'm dying. I'm just like, I can't believe you're literally sitting there sleeping and snoring while I'm trying to give birth. It was so funny. I'll never forget that, ever. Guys, my water did end up breaking completely when I first felt that epidural, and I didn't realize it, and all of a sudden everything just started getting wet, and I'm just like, what the heck was that? Like, I almost felt like a pop. And the nurse was like, oh, your water broke. And I was just like, oh, yay. You know, like, finally, like, the whole thing just exploded. But it did break. So that's why I was finally able to push. Anyways, I am so bad at this. I am getting off track so much. Sorry, guys. Anyways, pushing for over an hour. Finally, the nurse stops me, and she's like, how are you pushing, like, you know, what are you doing right now? And I was just like, well, I'm pushing with my legs. And she's like, no, sweetie. You need to push with your butt. It's like taking the biggest poop you've ever had to take. That's how you're supposed to be pushing right now. And I was just like, what? Nobody told me this. I had no idea. So then things started magically happening. My contractions started getting worse. They did have to give me that, I forget what it's called, but they give you something to speed up your contractions. And oh man, whew, that stuff was powerful. I was having some bad contractions. I felt everything. Like I keep saying, finally I was pushing and getting sweaty and hurting, and things were actually finally happening as soon as I found out you're supposed to push with your butt. And that's another reason why I pooped on the table. And then they're like, they literally come in and they're just like, and clean it up, and I don't even know, but at that point I did not care. I was in so much pain. Jason, telling me it's okay, you're doing great, telling me good affirmations, and I'm over here just like, shut up. I didn't tell him that, but but in my head I'm just like, I don't care, just like, get this baby out of me. And the whole time I was giving birth, I was like, I'm hungry. Like, I don't know why. I kept saying it. I kept saying, I'm hungry. Every time a contraction would end, I'd be like, oh, I'm hungry. I don't know why. My stomach just felt so empty with it being so big, so full. But anyways, doctor came. Jason was cracking up because this guy came and then all of a sudden put on his, not his scrubs, but, like a rain jacket and this giant mask. This guy had a full-on mask, which I'm probably sure that it's so stuff doesn't get in his eyes. Just so, like, if I do, if the baby just slips out and stuff goes flying, it's not gonna fly into his eyes. But Jason just thought it was the funniest thing that this guy was like bared down, like ready. Like I said 100 times, worst pain of my life. And I did actually want to see myself give birth. So I told them before, I want the mirror. I want to see myself crowning. I've always been really interested in that. And my favorite movie as a teenager growing up was Knocked Up. And that scene where they show her and she's just like, oh my God. I wanted to see it. I wanted to see myself. But when the time came and they're like, here, we'll show you, here's the mirror. And I was like, no, like I was in so much pain, I couldn't even open my eyes. Apparently I ripped a lot. I didn't ask how bad or like what the degree was or anything, but it was a lot. And Jason and my mother-in-law did say there was a lot of blood. He did have to stitch me up. And I'm gonna go more into that stuff in the post-pregnancy video because I think it still affects me to this day, unfortunately, but it was bad. And for how small Jameson was, and that I ripped, I broke. I'm broken. But no, it's, it's all good. That's what we do, right? We do it for love. But anyways, finally things, he was coming. I pushed for over 4 hours, and the doctor actually had to tell me by that 4th hour, hey, we're gonna have to vacuum him out if we can't get him out, if you can't push him out. And that really, really scared me. I don't know why, but after he told me that, it was like, I've never pushed so hard in my life. I just hunkered down and I did the thing. And literally, like within that push, I finally was able to get him out. And oh my God, it was the like best feeling ever to just have that relief, to be like, oh, he's here, he's out. I felt so good after that. I don't even remember the afterbirth. I don't remember giving birth to the afterbirth or whatever. I just remember they laid him on me. 7 pounds, 7 ounces, 19 inches long, little baby boy, pooped on my chest. This whole video is all about poop, just to let you guys know. Yeah, straight up pooped right on me. That's a bonding moment if I never heard of one. They wiped it off, took him. I did not like the way the nurse carried him around. And maybe because they're just so used to it. So they're just like, vroom, 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 and they're just go, go, go. But Jason and I were actually able to fire her from our little nurse team because she was just so, like, manhandling him. And it was just kind of like, whoa, like we were protective right from the bat. We're always going to be very protective of these children. But yeah, no, we didn't like her. So we were actually able to fire her. Oops. Probably didn't make her look good, but whatever. Doctor was just as nice as can be. Everyone's crying. I'm crying. I'm over here with my little washcloth, my cold washcloth, and just bawling my eyes out. Jason's bawling his eyes out. I think everyone was crying. Back to my dad's thing though. He saw everything, and it's because he was getting thrown around the room anyways. Like, everybody was coming in, but when you are in that much pain and just ready to just push this kid out, at that point, you don't care who is watching. I did not care. I didn't care, you know, if a 10-year-old was watching. I just was like, whatever. Nurses were going in and out. My dad's getting thrown around the room, so I did not give a by that point. So I just want to throw that in there. Anyways, yeah, after that, they took him, cleaned him up. Jason was able to watch, which was really, really cool. And I'm glad, like, you know, they didn't rush him out of the room or anything. That was like another one of my fears. But that's it. That's my labor story. It was funny. It had so many funny points, just from my dad sitting in the corner snoring while I'm pushing, to pushing wrong, to just being so hungry. And for my victory dinner, I guess you can say, they gave me the crappiest hospital meatloaf I've ever had. And my family was like, nope, you're not eating this. You just gave birth. You deserve whatever you want. I picked L&L Hawaiian barbecue. So good. Oh, it was like the best thing I've ever eaten in my whole entire life. I was just, I don't know why I was so hungry. I'm such a fat ass, I swear. But anyways, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions, if you guys have anything else to ask me, you guys can hit me up on Instagram or Facebook. And yeah, I hope you guys can like and share and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be trying to put out videos every Thursday for you guys, even with this crappy lighting. But I think it's just going to get better from here, to be honest. It's a process and it's a journey. And I'm really, really thankful to everybody who's been watching and giving me so much positive feedback. Thank you. Love you guys. I said that really weird because I just bit my tongue. Love you guys. Sometimes I can't talk. I can't function. Anyways, that was my labor story. So, I will see you guys next Thursday. Bye.